We got a couple of really good questions from this user, so I figured it would be easier to just respond by video. So this comment here about, what is different in other states that would offer more protection, and also, asking about the corporate formalities and, what are the formal protections that you're supposed to go through so you don't have alter ego problems. So on the corporate formalities one, you really just want to make sure that, and it always sounds counterintuitive to small businesses that it's just, one member, two members, and, we're supposed to have meetings on all this, we're supposed to document all this, and, if it's a single member, you're like, how does that meeting work? Like, I say this, okay, I vote okay, and how does that really work? Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be a ridiculous meeting like that. It could it could be written consents. It could be formal documentation showing, different stages of formal approval for company actions. The more it looks, smells, and breathes like an actual operating corporation. If you think about, the big, ginormous corporations of the world, they're going to have documentation for their actions. They're going to have board meeting minutes. They're going to have, written documentation saying we're hiring this officer, firing this officer, we're getting into this new business line, things like that. And I'm not saying it all has to be that way, but the more you think about a paper requirement for documenting what you are doing formally in a company, the better you're going to be if liability comes. The more you are running it extremely informally and like your personal piggy bank, the more problems you will have. In fact, we will post another video later about an individual that lost his entire company to the tune of several hundreds of thousands of dollars because he had never observed any of the corporate formalities, and they argued just that, the alter ego. So that was a pretty tough pill to swallow, and a very visceral, very immediate example of kind of one of the ghost stories we had told for years. And it's always sad when we see that. We know what to do, we know what not to do, but when you see the examples of how bad people get hurt or how badly they get hurt and lose their businesses, that's the ultimate of sadness. So and this specific comment asks about why would it be different, or why are other states different? So Florida just happens to be under state law, under court-made law precedent, through the Florida Supreme Court and Florida appellate courts, a state that says we will allow single members to be challenged and potentially lose their ownership. So some other states, like Wyoming, we use quite a bit, has laws to the exact opposite that say otherwise, that say we fully establish and understand that a single member is fully protected. So hopefully that answers those questions from this user. I always appreciate the questions. We're always here to educate, so please keep the questions coming, and we'll do our best to always respond as appropriately as possible. Thank you.